Greetings and welcome to our first Fireside Chat, GatherVerse North America. First of all, just I want to say thank you to that power panel that just went. Uh, that was just there. And I also want to thank you to Christopher Lafayette for making this happen and amazing introduction that we had there. So this fireside is just gonna be a continuum of such momentum. And just shout out to She Women. She Superhero Engine. I think they're part of them. And we also have here another powerful She Woman. And we're gonna talk about the catalyst effect, building leadership, confidence, and impact. Chantal, you call yourself the catalyst. But tell us more. Who is a catalyst? Who are you? And why are you here?
Lynn, it's so good to be here. I love supporting these GatherVerse summits. But to answer your question and to set the stage very quickly, I call myself a catalyst because my clients first called me a catalyst. We'll get into what a catalyst means, but it's much like thought leadership. You know, you can't publicly proclaim yourself to be a thought leader until someone else calls you a thought leader. So, bottom line is, I inspire change. I help people architect identities that build integrity from the inside out, building confidence, building impact, enabling leadership.
Wow, we're very happy to have you here. And I looked at your profile, and this is what you said. Chantal does not just inspire; she ignites. So, what does it mean to ignite rather than inspire? Take us deeper. Take us deeper into your world of igniting, catalyzing, and I'm just curious to learn more.
Lynn, I absolutely love words. And whenever it comes to defining a concept, I always like to go back to the root of the words. And for this question, I'm going to start there. If we look at the word inspire, I believe it comes from the Latin inspirare, and I'm never sure if I pronounce it correctly, but nonetheless, the Latin original word means to breathe in,
Mm,
right?
right.
Now, this implies taking in ideas. Now, knowledge is good, and we do need to impart knowledge. There's nothing inherently wrong with that. But so many of us are so swamped with so many good ideas at the moment. We are just breathing them in all the time. The difference lies in the action gap.
Mm,
Now, let's go and look at the word ignite. And
all
for
right.
this, I'm going to come back to physics. If we look at the physics definition of ignite, we all know what ignite means. Take a match, light a flame, light the candle, it sets something on fire. But the
Yeah.
physics definition of ignite is to take potential energy and turn it into kinetic energy.
That's right. Yeah.
And that to me is so powerful because we all have potential within us.
Mhm.
But like I say, that the challenge lies in that action gap. The
Yeah.
challenge lies in the stories we tell ourselves and the narratives that we construct along the way that are barriers to achieving what we want to achieve.
Yes.
This is why I ignite. I
Hmm.
create action as a catalyst.
Wow. I want to also just recommend or just say GatherVerse as well ignites, and having people like you who ignite and inspire leaders. There's so many leaders who are watching right now. And you mentioned something very, very profound, the action part. Everyone has an idea. Everyone has that spark, but the action part is where things go haywire, if I may say. So, what role does being a catalyst like yourself play in leadership and just daily life, just taking an action of that idea? What role does catalysm bring in?
Lynn, again, I'm going to start with definitions, right? I'm
Yeah,
going to start with, let's look at
it's
that
gonna be a
word.
definition day. I'm learning.
Exactly. This is
Yeah,
an English lesson like no
yeah.
other.
Please go on.
So let's look at that word catalyst. And
Mhm.
again, let's look at it in the physics context. Now, in the physics context, and I wasn't a physicist, so I might get this wrong to the physicists out there, but just bear with me, okay?
Yeah.
When a chemical reaction takes place,
Mm.
apparently there's this I don't know what they call it. There's this mountain that the molecules have to climb before they start transforming.
Yeah.
And it's a bit tedious for the molecules.
Mm-hmm.
But when you introduce a catalyst, it
Mm.
speeds up that reaction. So it
Yes.
creates a reaction, it enhances transformation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, if we apply that catalyst to our human condition,
Yeah.
we all want transformation. We all want change. We all want to implement these beautiful ideas that we are inspired by with
Mm-hmm.
this action gap. So we need a catalyst. We need someone who's going to come and sprinkle fairy dust,
Yes.
supposedly,
Mm-hmm.
and speed up that reaction. Now, I've spoken about this action gap. And to come back to your question, what role does a catalyst play in leadership and in life? We all have these ideas, but we have
Yes.
barriers.
Yeah.
And the barriers, the things that stop us from going where we need to go, are things like fear, things
Mm-hmm.
like timing. We always say, oh no, I don't have time for that. Or I don't
Yes.
have the resources. I'd love to start my own business, but I don't have the money. I'm scared to do that. What else? I don't have the confidence to do that. I don't know what to do. So, what a catalyst does is a catalyst removes all of those barriers to entry. I will give you permission simply
Mm-hmm.
by sitting with you and talking to you and saying, you know what, you can do this. That's what a catalyst does.
Mm-hmm.
We'll break down those time barriers through looking at your priorities, through identifying what is a priority in life. Because
Yeah.
we all have the same 24 hours in a day. You don't actually not
Oh,
have time, it's a priority issue.
yes.
Right?
Definitely.
We'll build that confidence, and that confidence comes from mentorship. We all need mentorship. So we need someone who's going to walk that road with us and say, I've got you. I believe in you. Go. You can do this.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the role that a catalyst plays in leadership and life. It's that sounding board. It's that person who says, I see you. I've got you. Let's do this. What are the resources we need? What is the timeline? How are we going to structure this? What is step number one? What is that first step we're going to take?
Yes,
How
definitely.
you it. And that's how everyone can catalyze whoever they're working with as leaders.
That is well put. I'm also curious. We've already gotten the flight is taking off. The catalyst is there. Adversity comes in. That is something that has to appear all the way. Adversity comes in. So, how has adversity with your catalyst? How has adversity influenced your confidence and impact, and even for other leaders? We've taken off. Something has hit. Someone loses their confidence. What happened next? What's the impact, and how do you mitigate that?
Lynn, life is full of adversity. We are never going to get rid of adversity. And I
Mm,
always say this to my clients, just because you do the work does not mean life is going to become a bed of roses. So we
yes.
need to prepare for the adversity. The difference is when we look at borrowed confidence or confidence that is faked, and there's so much of that out there at the moment, right? That kind of confidence falls apart under adversity. Whereas inherent confidence
Mhm.
just shines through when adversity comes. So you asked the question about adversity and how it's impacted my confidence and my impact in life. Lynn, I invented the word adversity, I reckon. I've had a challenging life. I've
Yeah.
had some very interesting experiences. I'm a twice recovered drug addict, and I know that that's a common story.
Mhm.
But the thing is, I recovered both times without help. I made a decision to make my life better. I sorted myself out. And through that, I built this resilience. I wrestled with my own shit for decades before I got to the foundation of my core identity beliefs and I was
Mhm.
able to shift them. I understand adversity. So when someone comes to me and says, I don't have money to pay bread or to buy bread for the children, I understand because I've been there. And we can get through that. Adversity builds resilience, it builds confidence. And what happens when you come from that place, you come from a place of credibility. And I think what my adversity has done for me is it's given me such a strong foundation and I'm able to talk with more authority.
Yes, definitely. I see our time is running out and we could go on. Chantal, you're such a fire power woman that I would love to listen all day. And just give us a quick takeaway. What would you tell people where you are, where you stand, and where your story will? Just one quick takeaway.
One quick takeaway: we all have stories that we tell ourselves.
Yeah.
It's not what happens to you, it's the story you tell yourself that holds you back. So, what happens to you is it's raining on your
Yeah.
wedding day. The story you tell yourself is, I am not going to like this day. And
Hmm.
that will forever taint your experience. So, we need to identify the stories we're telling ourselves. We need to look at the narrative, and we
Yes.
need to start shifting that narrative in our core identity.
Chantal, let's see you Share Summit and the upcoming GatherVerse Summit. I suspect we have a lot to uncover from you. That was such a powerful fireside chat. Over to you, GatherVerse team, and Chantal Asante Sana. Thank you. Thank you very much.